Hey, my friends, this is Jeff Yalden, celebrity teen and family life coach, suicide prevention specialist, the author of Your Life Matters, and radio host of my show, The Jeff Yalden Show. Today is my birthday. Thank you very much. I appreciate your thoughts and kind sentiments. As many of you probably thought to yourself, happy birthday, Jeff. Had an awesome day. And now, as I conclude the day, I sit down at the computer to talk about my latest blog, depression, the common cold. I know some of you are probably thinking, Jeff, it's your birthday. Why aren't you celebrating? I'm dealing with depression myself. And although I had an awesome day, I kind of find myself sitting here thinking about all the people and myself where, it's kind of like it's too early to go to bed, but yet I kind of want to go to bed. I kind of want to just. Do you suffer from depression? Do you know somebody that suffers from depression? What is depression? I wrote a blog, and before I wrote the blog, I asked so many people to kind of respond and say, hey, listen, I'm writing this blog on what is depression. And so many people wrote depression where you can't climb out of your own hole. The fact that you are where you are, but you still can't get hold of yourself deep from within. Depression is a silent illness. Depression is feeling like you're drowning while everyone else around you is able to breathe. Depression is what kills my soul. So hard to get out of bed in the morning. It's not going out anywhere, but spending all day, every day in my room. Depression is like the night sky of darkness and not noticing the brightness of the stars. It's the emptiness in your soul and the broken feeling that you have each and every single day. I've just got pages and pages of people writing, and I think to myself, we really have a problem, don't we? Well, I never hide it. I suffer from depression and anxiety. I'm diagnosed bipolar type 2 and PTSD. Depression is feeling numb. There's activities that you once enjoyed, yet it could be the most beautiful day and you have all the time in the world and all the money, but yet you just find every excuse to not want to do it. Depression is waking up only to want to go back to bed. Depression is going into your cabinets and constantly looking for something to eat because you think maybe that is going to make you feel better. Depression is self-medicating, whether it be cutting or substance abuse, over-the-counter pills or alcohol. I'm not saying it's the right way to deal with it, but there are many people that do deal with it. It's estimated that close to 10% of American people deal with depression. But yet, they say that 80 to 90% of people don't ever get treated for it. But when you do get treated for it, you can become better within weeks, a couple weeks to a few weeks. Hey, listen, I'm not going to argue with here talking about mental health and depression and suicide. It's a stigma. We don't ever want to talk about it. Well, it saddens me when you think about 10% of the people dealing with such I guess you can call it a disease, but call it a condition. Listen, I'm going to snap out of it right now because I'm aware of how I'm feeling, and I'm going to talk directly to you. I'd like to encourage each and every one of you that might be suffering from depression to lose your ego and open your heart. There are people that deal with diabetes. There are people that deal with cancer. People deal with things every single day. And we can't succeed in this world if we try and take it on by ourselves. I want to encourage you to do what I've learned to do. Lose your ego and open your heart and find somebody, a professional in the medical field, a counselor, a licensed professional therapist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist. First, you need to go through your family physician. Go to them and tell them the symptoms that you're feeling. Tell them how you feel, what you're dealing with, why you have trouble getting motivated, getting out of bed. That the little things that you once enjoyed, you don't even enjoy anymore. The professionals are certainly going to be able to help you. There's so many different types of depression. You have clinical depression all the way to, adjustment disorder, to somebody that their boyfriend or girlfriend just broken up with them. I don't want to sit here and say one is worse than the other, but I'm going to simply say that when you look at the clinical depression, this can go on forever, and you can have bouts where you feel better and bouts where you don't feel so good, and it can be debilitating. It could be, it's crushing, it's mind-blowing. It's just, you want to sit in the dark room, you feel numb, and people look at you, and it's like you have this stare in your eyes, like you're not even emotionally present. Depression can hurt your family, can hurt your relationships. Depression hurts you, but there is help. You have to go and get that help. And I want to invite you to go and get it. I don't want to disrespect the people who have the moderate depression of, boyfriend, girlfriend, may have broken up with them, adjustment disorder, you may have moved to a new community. I understand. And so right now, it's like the world is crashing in, especially young people. Something happens and we think it's the end of the world. Here's what I want you to understand. Depression doesn't need to be the end of the world. If you choose not to address it and you allow it to control you, then you're going to feel like it's the end of the world. But what I want to invite you to understand is when you have these feelings that isn't normal, it isn't right, like you feel like you're drowning in a pool when you look up and everybody's breathing, that's not a normal feeling. That's a feeling that definitely should be addressed and talked about. You can live a normal life. And I want to talk about two different ways of doing it. You can go the route where you talk to a professional, a medical health professional, and you can get on medication. For me, I take medication. I take it for anxiety. I take it for depression. I take medication for ADD. And yeah, it's taken me some time to find the right medication. But when I found the right medication, I feel like I'm more normal. I'm better in relationships. I'm better as each day goes by. Now you have the other side where people are like, oh, no. We're just doctors. They're just medicating kids. Well, you know what? I don't think you're the doctor. I don't think you have the answers. And I want you to understand, having depression is not a flaw in your character. Having depression is a chemical imbalance in your head where the neurotransmitters aren't functioning correctly. So with medication, we can get back on the same wavelength. With medication, we can feel more normal. But to the parents who are absolutely against medication and the doctors and want to do it the natural way, I want to invite you to think about a couple things. Number one, what your kids eat, what you might eat, nutrition. Maybe go to a gluten-free diet, cut out dairy, little things, maybe less carbs, more protein. You're going to start to feel more energy. It'll make you feel better. I think also the proper amount of sleep, 8 to 10 hours of sleep. If you're an adult, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Also exercise. One of the reasons why teenagers, young adults are cutting, because it makes them feel like they have control and they start to cut. And when they see bleeding, it releases endorphins, and it's kind of like that high that you get from exercising. Well, if we can learn to replace that self-harm with something positive like exercising and more cardio, you're going to find that you're going to get the high as a result of exercising, where that's going to replace the high as a result of self-harm. I think also food, sleep, and eating. Those three. And if that doesn't work, definitely open your heart to seeking professional help. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm just feeling a little bit better because I talked about it. Being aware is something that is really important. And when you're aware, now you know you need to go do something. And that's what you need to do. You need to go do something. Do something about it. Thanks for listening.